keep our body in good health is our duty. And that's why we are here today on Wellness Wednesday on Tea or Coffee. Welcome. My name is Ronke Ashiru, and as usual, I have the beautiful
Modupe
Jacobs.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love the old pinky.
Yeah, and I
So
love your
fine.
fitness, especially those shoes.
Thank you.
So how are you this morning?
I'm good. Fine.
Did you go to the gym?
No,
What did you do today to keep fit?
nothing actually. I actually do not like exercise.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't like exercise.
So what do you do? How do you keep fit?
I eat fruits.
Fruit.
Yes.
Only. Oh.
Okay, there was a time I actually, used to stretch and jog,
Yeah.
but that's like a long time. For a while now, I haven't.
Lazy.
Because somehow I just lose the weight.
You do. But you know that sometimes, like, okay, do I want to speak like an expert here? Because I'm not. But I believe that sometimes it's not about having the slim stature or whatever. Because I said, even exercise, even when you have the body of an angel, because it helps in regulating the blood system and all the other things. Please, I'm not an expert, so don't quote me on this. But I know that exercise is actually good. Aside from, yes, you're eating right, but what are the other things? You don't want to be 60 and you can't walk very well because of arthritis, because the bones are stiff and all that. So I believe exercise is good.
I will. I will think about joining, a gym.
I can be your coach.
Okay, that would be nice.
All right, but that's not why we are here today.
Of course.
We're not talking exercise today. We're talking about the wellness of the body.
Yes.
And a lot of times, when people hear of SS, they call SS,
Yes.
sickle cell anemia, people tend to, hey, it's deadly. That's the end of somebody's life and all that. So today we're talking about
all you need to know about sickle cell anemia.
About sickle cell anemia. Okay, we have a guest in the house, so we'll go on a break right now, and then joining us in the studios will be our guest talking about sickle cell anemia. Don't go nowhere. Have a thrilling and bonding experience at High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort. Enjoy an amazing retreat in our extremely secured environment with our breathtaking rides. Set goals for the upcoming year in our convenient multi-purpose halls. Bond between team members while giving your staff a desirable treat. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real.
You're welcome back. Of course, this is still Tea or Coffee on High Impact TV. And just before we went on a break, we told you that we will be talking about all you need to know about sickle cell anemia. And right about now, we have our guests in the studio with us. And we have Mr. Greg Emuze, and we have Pastor Mrs. Abimbola Edwin. They are from the Crimson Bowl Sickle Cell Initiative, and they will be telling us all we need to know about, sickle cell anemia. You're welcome, Sama.
Thank you very much. All right, let's start with Greg. What is the meaning of Crimson Bowl?
So, basically, when I and a friend of mine, Timmy, who's the founder.
Okay, I really can't hear you.
Basically, when I and Timmy,
my
friend and founder of Crimson Bowl, and we sat down and we were trying to come up with a name that would tell a story from what it is we were trying to do. We came up with Crimson Bowl because crimson is the color of blood, and bowl is from the sickle shape of red blood cells of people that suffer sickle cell disease.
Wow. All right. So why that? Why did you come up with the initiative?
Both of us have genotype SS, and we've been friends for a while. I remember the first day I saw her, she was being taken out of church and put in a car to be taken home. She was in the ushering unit and she had fallen, taken ill during service.
Who?
That's Timmy Lane.
Timmy Lane.
Yes,
okay.
and she had to be put in a vehicle and taken home. That was the first day I saw her.
Okay.
And after that, I kind of kept an eye out for her, like, oh, that lady. And then after a while, we started talking and we became friends. And she was, going through a phase out of job. Things were going, funny and stuff. And we came together and thought, oh, we could actually share our stories to uplift other people, tell exactly what sickle cell is about. Because it seems because of stigma, a lot of people keep silence about it.
Yes.
And I was guilty of that too for a very long time. I never came out to say, oh, this was my genotype. But I'll ask everybody around me what your genotype is, but they never really So, I hid it for a long time. But after a while, I just came out and thought, our speaking up would do a lot more good than keeping quiet.
Yes.
And so we decided to start telling our stories. And so we started a blog called crimsonbolt.wordpress.com back then.
Okay.
And with time, we just realized that a lot of people were visiting our site, asking us questions and all that. And we became an NGO. So that was how it started. It wasn't like, oh, we woke up one day with grand dream of saying, oh, we want to give out sweaters, we want to have initiatives. No, it was just, let's just tell our story. And that was how we got to where we are today.
All right. Okay, Abimbola, you are one of the trustees of the initiative.
Yes.
Why did you join?
His friend, Timilene, happens to be my daughter.
Oh.
And I live with sickle cell anemia as well.
Biological daughter?
Biological daughter, my first child, yes.
Wow.
And for me, I never hid it because it was not even, it was something you couldn't hide because mine started to manifest as early as I was a baby. So my parents started taking care of me. Yeah, there was a lot of stigma and all that. And when he started coming, I saw them coming together. But when they started writing the blog, and my daughter wrote about herself, she wrote about me, and we was like, God, what's all this about? Why is Timilene just putting us out there in the open? And I had a check within me by the Holy Spirit. He said, I should shut up. I said, why? Because when God talks to me, I understand, I know. So I asked him why. He said, well, you remember you promised me when you had her, and you told, and you realized she had sickle cell, and you asked me to make your other children to be free of sickle cell anemia. And I did that, and you promised that you were going to serve me, and you didn't. I said, well, God, I've been serving you. He said, no. What you were supposed to do, I have given your daughter the second chance to do it. So she started, and he warned me and he said to me clearly that go ahead and help her. Support her as much as you can, spiritually, physically, materially, emotionally. So that's how I happen to be part of them.
Okay. Most times,
yes,
when people hear of that word SS, they always believe that, you can't live beyond a certain age.
Well, I had a lot of that as a child.
So how are you able to cope and then getting married? I actually have a friend who eventually dropped out of school because of that. She said she's not going to live long, so why can't she live and enjoy her life? Why would she stress herself going to school and cramming or studying and all that? And sometimes when I think about that now, it still hurts me. So how are you able to cope? For
me, I believe in destiny, one. And as a child, I'd always known I wouldn't die of sickle cell anemia. There's something in you that gives you that courage, that strength. Number one, I had a family. I came out of a family. My parents were elites. They are of blessed memory now. And I think they had one before me who passed on. And when I came on, so they realized what has happened. So they took over almost immediately. But I know that each time I had a crisis, because mine was very bad, very, very bad, critical. So anytime I had crisis, they would be worried and all that. And I'll tell them that, at least as when I started remembering, like I was age 6, I would always tell them that I won't die of this thing. And when anybody says yes, and when anybody says, they start whispering and all that, and I will answer that I'm not going to die of this sickle cell anemia. anything could kill me, but not this disease. So it was like I had always had it in me that nothing will happen to me. So.
Okay. All right. So let's go to knowing more about sickle cell anemia. What is sickle cell anemia?
Sickle cell anemia is a disorder that affects the blood. It affects the. Greg could also help me out here.
Okay.
It affects the blood. It's like the cells are supposed to be round, wholish. But when you have sickle cell, it breaks. I mean, it's in different shapes. The sickle, some are slim, some are, but they never form the round shape. So we lose, and oxygen doesn't get into all the parts of the body as it should. I'm not a medical doctor, but this is my understanding of it. So things don't really work as it should with other people with other genotype, AS, AA, and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is with sickle cell, if it's well managed from the beginning, the chances of survival is very high.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to say normal, meaning that what is normal, so let's do the usual.
Okay.
Red blood cell is like a disc, like maybe a frisbee disc or sort. That's how the shape
I really can't hear you very well.
I said a usual red blood cell is shaped like a disc, like a frisbee,
Okay, like, yes.
A round disc with a little indentation. But sickle cell shaped cells are named like that because of the core. They're
sickle.
Like
Okay.
So now when it comes to flow, if you were to pour a pack of discs down a drain, for example, it would go a lot easier than if you were to pour a pack of crescents. Do you get the analogy? Because of the shape, it tends to create a lot of blockage in the
vessel blood, yes.
And that is what bets all of the pain crises that sickle cell people suffer. So those clogs cause the pain and the swelling and all of that we go through. So sometimes your knee is paining you, and it's so real that you have to actually sit down and think that, did I bang my knee at some point? The pain is so real, like it is external, but it's not trauma. It's because of the blood flow that is having issues. So that's basically what the challenge is. And that shape also reduces its ability to carry oxygen. And then thirdly, it breaks down a lot more faster than your regular red blood cells. So it means that there's a lot of iron deposits in our body because cells are breaking down a lot faster, about 2 or 3 times faster than we have in a regular red blood stream. And that's why you have all of the issues of low blood count, iron deposits, and so you can't take anything that has iron infused in it. That's why there's pain crisis. That's why you're advised to take a lot of water. That's why you have discoloration of the eyes and all of that. Yes.
Okay. So what are the symptoms that come with having?
Okay, before you answer
that.
hold that thought. We'll go on break now. And when we come back, we'll continue with the questions. Let's go on break now. And this is still tea or coffee.
When you think about it, there's a lot to celebrate in our lives. From the smallest milestones to our biggest moments, we'll pamper you at High Impact Planet. Whatever the occasion, let's celebrate you at High Impact Planet, where fun just got real.
Welcome back. Of course, this is still Tea or Coffee on High Impact TV, and we are still talking about, sickle cell anemia, and our guests are still in the studio here with us. So before we went on that break, I asked the question, directing it to you, Mr. Greg. Yeah. What are the symptoms of, sickle cell anemia?
Most times, the first thing you notice is that most sickle cell sufferers can't hold their weight. Like, a lot of them do not add weight. It's not like everyone doesn't. Some of them do, But it's often that you see that they're just they look a little sickly, like, what's up with this guy? Why is he so fragile? Why is he so frail? And then all of that. But basically, if you look in the eyes, most times you see the discoloration. Okay. Because it takes a lot of, sometimes like when I was a lot younger, they'll tell you, oh, take a lot of glucose, take glucose and water all the time to have your eyes clearer and stuff. But you get frustrated because no matter how much water you drink, it still comes back at some point. But that's still not widespread. Like, okay, it's widespread, but it's not for everyone. There are some people you meet and their eyes are clear. So the only way, the surest way to know and be sure that, okay, this person has sickle cell disease is a blood test.
Okay.
So you can see a lot of different manifestations of different things, and you'll be like, oh, maybe. And some people don't even look it at all. Like, some people pass and you would not even know that they are. But they could just pass for something else or the other.
Because you said that for a long time you didn't tell you.
Yeah, I didn't tell, and people didn't notice. Because exactly. I was involved with sports in school. I used to run for my house when I was in primary school. I did a lot of that. I could do like almost everything that every other guy could do.
So at what point
did I have to slow down?
Did you notice that, okay, or did your parents?
At age 1, they realized that I had genotype SS.
At age 1?
Yes.
Okay.
On my first birthday, I was taken ill. What?
Oh.
Yeah, I had to be admitted on my first birthday, and my mom said I was just crying and crying and crying, and they couldn't really place a finger on it. And these are educated folks, and they didn't know what was going on. Apparently, my mom had lost a couple of babies before me, and they hadn't put a finger on it and realized that it was sickle cell. So you have a lot of all that, oh, it was maybe a spiritual thing, or it's a people or something, the same child is coming over and over again. So a lot of that ignorance keeps a lot of people, back. When I was admitted, a doctor finally found it and said, oh, this child has sickle cell. And they're like, I don't understand. And, you have a lot of family members saying, oh, we don't have sicklers in my family, so it's not from our family. Maybe it's your mother's family or something, But the truth is, it takes two. So both parents had to run a test. They now had to run a test on my elder sister and all of that to find out what everyone's genotype is. But I never accepted it. I never accepted the limitations. So, oh, don't play in the rain. Oh, don't play football. Don't do this. Don't run in the sun. I wouldn't listen. So I just kept pushing myself. And so a lot of my friends didn't notice. A lot of my teachers, but my mom would always go and snitch and report to my teachers like, this child has sickle cell, please don't say it. And it affects you psychologically. Like, everyone is going up and they say, oh, no, you stay. And then you feel like, oh, why me? Then it dawns on you that, oh, mom has gone to snitch on me again. So that was basically what it felt like.
Wow. Oh, all right. Okay. How you normally go through crisis? Or
yes.
What do you call it, to have crisis at times?
Pain crisis. The pain comes, wakes you up. I remember a particular one that happened when I was still at the university.
Okay.
I think it was during examination period, and I was just in a friend's bed. Like sometimes we're reading and then you crash in someone's bed. And a couple of guys walked in and they were arguing soccer and they were talking, and so I woke up from my sleep and that was it. I had to be carried, like physically carried. Okay.
It doesn't give you any pointer, no. Maybe in the next 2 minutes or something.
No. You see, you go to a lot of doctors and they tell you that, oh, you should know your body, you should know when a crisis is coming. Yes, you know. But most times it's too late to do anything about it. Like, it just comes like a flood all of a sudden. Of course, you know it's coming because maybe you haven't taken care of yourself, or maybe you haven't been, taking your meds, or maybe you haven't been doing the right things. But I was in school. It was high tension. It was the examination period. I was pushing myself as far as I could go. And I was even trying to catch a rest when they woke me up. And the moment I woke up, I had to be physically carried to the health center, where my PCV just kept going through the floor, and I had to be rushed to the teaching hospital.
Wow.
So it wasn't like I did something out of the ordinary.
Okay.
It just sometimes happens that way. And it comes with a lot of pain.
Wow. Okay, they're telling me now that we need to pay some bills, so we need to go on a break now. And when we come back, we'll continue with the discussion.
All right.
This still tea or coffee? welcome back. This is still Tea or Coffee, and we've been talking about living with sickle cell anemia, and Crimson Bowl co-founder Greg Emuze. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Because I hate murdering people's names. Okay, Greg Emuze, and the trustee of the initiative, Pastor Mrs. Abimbola Edwin, has been enlightening us on the sickle cell anemia, because they are living with it, and they are looking good, beautiful, handsome. Because I know before we came on, I asked Greg about his age. How old are you? Let's tell. I asked.
Well, a lot of sickle cell people don't look their age. So we are blessed with that vampire gene somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
For like 1,000 years and it doesn't show. So, but it depends on who's asking really. But today I'm 31.
Today you're 31.
Yes.
Tomorrow you can be 37.
Exactly.
All right. Nice one. Okay, so what are the triggers?
Okay, so basically crisis can be brought on by a couple of factors: sudden change in temperature, sudden change in altitude, dehydration, malaria, which is endemic in this part of the world.
Okay.
So it's actually a vicious cycle. The reason why we have sickle cell in the first place is because our bodies mutated to try to fight the malaria parasite. And so it's also a trigger. And in this part of the world, you can't avoid malaria. It's almost normal. Anywhere in the world you go to as an African, you most likely will test positive for malaria.
Okay.
You know, so but it's part of the triggers. Then stress, high stress levels, whether it's emotional stress, physical stress, any sort of stress. You get worked up over something. You have an argument with your sibling. You have a bad day at work. You are in traffic and you get freaked out, or I don't know, maybe your football side loses the match. You could trigger a crisis. So you have to be really careful about balancing your emotional state of mind. You see, so what I advise a lot of sickle cell people to do is anybody in your life that is stressing you out, just cut them off, because they're going to push you to your grave if you allow them to do that. So I'll give you an example. I went to South Africa for a conference and I had to fly. That was the longest flight I've ever been on. And I wasn't prepared. I thought I was, but I didn't know I had to hydrate myself days before my trip. If I'm going to be that long in the air at that altitude, I had to hydrate myself days before the trip. I didn't know that. So I was really excited. I was, all about the visa and the places I wanted to go to. And, I had the flight and it was fun and all that. And then I arrived out of South Africa. I was able to attend my conference and then I felt ill. The cold was also another thing. It was really cold. I went in the winter. And so I had to lie down in front of the heater in my hotel room just to keep myself hot to some extent. Sit down in the bath and run hot water over myself, but I couldn't nip it in the bud fast enough. Okay. Fast forward, I was taken to the hospital because I had travel insurance, which is another thing I preach. If you're going to travel, have travel insurance, because you'll be surprised. You have to rack up medical bills in the country where you now have to do conversion to Naira. You're in trouble. So I was admitted and I had nobody in South Africa. And then the doctor came and she says, "Oh, what's the problem?" And I say, "Oh, I have sickle cell. I'm having a crisis." And she's like, "What's that?" She's never heard of it before. A white doctor. And she's like, "She doesn't know what that is and they didn't know what to do." And I said, "See, I know what to do. I'll tell you what to do. Give me a line. Give me painkillers. Give me dextrose saline, normal saline. Give me painkillers. Give me malaria treatment. Give me some antibiotics. I'll be fine." And she's like, "No, I can't just do that."
Malaria treatment is another thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's like, "I can't do that." And I'm like, "That's what I need. I've just told you, I can write it down for you if you need them." And she's like, "No way." So I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll call my doctor in Nigeria to tell you what to do." And I called my friend from the university, Victor. He's a pharmacist, and he knows my condition, and he's been there for me throughout my years in school. So I was like, "Victor, I have a situation right now. I need you to talk to a doctor. You are my doctor for today." And so Victor, I put Victor on the line with her, and they talk, and she complies, and I get better, I get discharged, and I come back to Nigeria. So it's a huge problem in the sense that it's our thing.
Yes, African thing.
Exactly. And we don't, we act like it's a black thing, and then some Hispanics, and then some Asians, but majorly it's a black race thing. And so we act like it's not a problem. We act like oh, don't tell anybody. I remember when we started Crimson Book, I was posting on Facebook and all that, and then, you know, my parents, my sister, they felt somehow like, why you claiming it? Why you claiming it? You should, you know, don't do that. But with time, they've come on board now, and they realize that this is what I want to do. But we have to speak up about it.
I know you had
a similar experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in Italy.
Okay.
And I had a language barrier, and they didn't know, because I attended, I went to the hospital there. The ambulance took me there, and they didn't actually know what to do with me. So I had to cut short my trip. I had to fly to England and get sorted out in London. So I was taken to a hospital there. Fortunately, the first the consultant to attend to me knows about it. Okay. So he knew that first take care of the pain. That was the way they attacked it then. So they took care of the pain. Then they don't treat for malaria, but they took care of the pain. And I was better, and I came back home.
I'm glad you actually mentioned this, because that was going to be my next question. Yes. If it's only in Nigeria that we have cases of, you know, that we have people living with sickle cell anemia.
No, it's not. It just happens that Nigeria has the largest body of malaria, of sickle cell disease. So, of course, our population is huge in the first place, but also in the population, we have a very high number of sickle cell cases. So it's crazy. There have been estimations of maybe 150,000 deaths a year of sickle cell, and it's not far-fetched because it's worse the further you travel north, where a lot of enlightenment is not present. So we have people that are SS, marry SS people because they don't even know, and so they have 5 kids, 10 kids, 9 kids. Every one of them is SS.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That brings me to how were you able? Because you said yours was very critical.
Yeah.
And you decided that yes, you're going to.
I was going to leave. I said I would leave, and I'm leaving
you
to the glory of God.
A normal life.
Yes. And actually, yes.
With children.
Yes, 3 to the glory of God.
3 children.
Yes.
So how are you able to manage the crisis and the pregnancy?
Well, I would say with me, like I always say, I refer to God a lot because I believe the God factor is what is holding me up. So wherever I go and you ask me, I say, God first. And then he actually teaches me, tells me things to do at some points. Like sometimes when I know I'm having a crisis is coming. Sometimes I don't have to go to the hospital. It will just come to me, take your drug, take this, do that, rub yourself. Then when I'm done, I will switch on my phone, watch either a movie, or watch, a sermon or something. Okay. But by the time I do that, I go to sleep. Let me start from getting married. You will wonder why I have an SS child. Like I said, my life is a destiny. My story is that of a destiny. I met my husband, and he saw me in crisis, and he decided he was going to marry me. So he said, and I didn't know. Back then, I wasn't a Christian, so I got pregnant. That was when he said he was going to marry me again. He insisted. So we went to do the test. When I went to the hospital, because I was in Ibadan, using UCH then as my hospital. So they asked me to bring him. He went, and they did his test. Unfortunately, it came out to be AS.
Oh, my.
Yes. But in everything that appears bad, there's always
something good.
A silver lining there. So that's why I said with mine, it is a different one. So it wasn't as if I went out to look for an AS, or I married because of love, or I married because I just had to marry. I believe I married my own husband because that's the way he came. So when they said we couldn't marry, that they were ready to abort the baby for me, thank God I didn't, because she's here today, helping others to the glory of God. So that's how, and we started. My husband would always do things for me in the house. We do everything together. My growing up wasn't so bad. I had my parents, even though my father died very early, but I had my siblings. So there was understanding. The only thing is I had a lot of crises, and when I'm down, the whole house is like a graveyard. Everybody is quiet. Don't disturb Bimbo. Don't you know she's sleeping? You know, all those kind of things. Then my growing up, when children are playing in the rain, I couldn't play in the rain with them. I couldn't do much with them. My parents were like always after me. You can't do this, you can't do that. But all of that was done with love. So I always tell people that whatever challenge you have with any of your children, if you show a lot of love, it stabilizes the child, and the child is able to develop well and balanced. So that helped me. And when I got married, I'm fortunate enough, blessed enough to have a good husband that also supported me. His family didn't mind, and because, there was no hiding place for me. Because back then, I could be in a party and the crisis will start. Because I loved fun. I went to parties with my friends. At the university, I could be... Usually it starts around midnight, early hours of the day, very early, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So I was constantly going to the clinic. I had boys who carry me on their back. My boyfriends, not any relationship, but my friends in university, they would carry me, run me to the health center, from health center to UCH, things
and
like
then
that.
When you are okay, you go to another part.
Yes, when I'm okay,
I like that.
I'm living my life again.
Living your life to the fullest.
To the fullest. The only thing is, I know that there had always been a God factor with me. Even when I did not know know Christ the way I know him now. It's like there's a God somewhere that is protecting me. There's a God somewhere that will not allow anything to happen to me. There's a God somewhere that will see me through this struggle, this stress, and has kept me, it has helped me.
Like Greg said that the parents got to know when he was 1 year old. Is there a way that you can know if a child has sickle cell anemia?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
As a baby?
Yes, there are even ways to know before the pregnancy is due.
Okay, yes.
I
know of that.
Now.
Yes, now, not back then, of course, now.
Yes.
No.
But really back then, because I told you my parents lost one before me, not the one right before me, but one before me.
Okay.
And when I started, I was showing the symptoms he showed. My fingers, my feet, my toes were always, my fingers, my toes were always swollen. So they saw that. And it was like...
As a baby?
As a baby. Maybe around 4 months.
Okay.
So with that, they started. Then I didn't walk on time. I took my first step when I was 2 years old.
Wow.
So all those ones, I could just sit in a place when I'm not, when I'm well, according to them, I could sit in a place and be looking. I had my little buckets and stuff to play around me. I wasn't fussy as a child, but then I gave them a lot of stress.
At least I'm happy that at least you can talk about it and love, and you know that not only are you here, you are also imparting into people's lives, because a lot of people are going to watch this and say, wow.
Yes, because, and again, it gives me joy, actually. I have a lot of people calling me. I have this friend, I have this child, I have this relation, having this issue, what can we do? And sometimes, as they're asking me, it's like I'm asking the Holy Spirit, what do I tell this person?
Yes.
And sometimes I could just say, because it comes also with a lot of gastric pain. Okay. People with sickle cell anemia have pains around their tummy. Okay. Constipation is very bad, it triggers it. So sometimes I just ask, how is it? Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but I tell them some therapy. Yeah. And I tell them, after this, you can go to the hospital.
Okay. And one thing I like about you're a pastor.
Yes.
And you are not preaching that, okay, it will change to AA.
No.
You are actually letting us see the reality and how to work with the reality that we have. Thank you very much for coming. All right, Greg, what do you think that your initiative is going to do to the general public?
Well,
so those living, especially those living with
sickle
cell anemia.
The first thing was to tell our stories, to tell people that, see, you're not alone. And if people around you know, the better for you. Because we've both come this far because of support structure that we've had.
Yeah.
I've had the most amazing friends.
Okay.
You know, I only have a sister, and like I said, we lost a couple of siblings in between, so there's a lot of age gap. So when I was in primary school, she was already in secondary school. So the gap was there. She wasn't there to be hands-on, more friends. And so by telling our story, we started Crimson Bowl. And then we started reaching out to people because we were inundated with calls and messages. And then we started looking at the fact of, okay, how do we help these people? And so right now we have a couple of initiatives like Project Keep a Water Warm that we do like every quarter, where we bring together a lot of people, young people, kids and stuff. We have parties, we give them, those that are sickle cell, we give them sweaters, we give them water bottles, we give them medication, and then we do free genotype testing to ascertain those that do not know. Anybody, young and old,
very much.
are able to come. Yeah.
Like our time is fast spent. We've run out of time, so we need to really round off now.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you've been watching Tea or Coffee on High Impact TV. I must say that, and we are the first full HD TV station in Nigeria. It's been an interesting topic, one that I've learned a lot from, and I do hope you watching have also learned, you know, and been able to take notes on a number of things about sickle cell anemia. So please, do not be scared to tell anyone that you have sickle cell anemia. It's good when you have, you know, support system, like you rightly said, you know, support system around you to help you just in case the crisis, you know, comes up. Now, it's at this juncture that we wrap up the program, and my name remains Modupe Jacobs.
And I'm Ronke Ashiru. Keep living your life to the fullest. Bye.
Bye.